Good morning, and welcome to the Jamestown High School 2021 commencement ceremony. Please remain standing for the next few moments as the Jamestown Orchestra, under the direction of Miss Mary Dart, presents our national anthem. Thank you, Ms. Dart and orchestra members, for your performances. You may be seated. Good morning and welcome to our families, friends, colleagues, graduating seniors, distinguished members of the Williamsburg-James City County School Board, distinguished members of the James City County Board of Supervisors, Superintendent Dr. Olwyn Herron, members of the Superintendent's Leadership Team, Jamestown High School faculty, staff, and other invited guests. We are excited by your presence to honor our class of 2021. My name is Howard Townsend, and it is my privilege and honor to serve as principal of Jamestown High School. On behalf of our dedicated faculty and staff, I welcome you to this wonderful celebration of the graduation of the class of 2021 on Juneteenth, the oldest known commemoration of the end of slavery in the United States. Congratulations, seniors. The faculty and staff of Jamestown High School are proud of you and your accomplishments. During your tenure at Jamestown, you have won various state, regional, and national awards. The class of 2021 has amassed $4,333,106 in scholarships and awards. We have 9 WJCC Honor Program graduates, 10 National Merit Commended students, and 1 National Merit finalist. Additionally, our seniors have set the stage for future success at either a 2- to 4-year college and university, technical school, work, or service in the military. I would like to take the time to thank our parents and families for your partnership. Your support enables our school community to thrive and facilitate a culture that promotes excellence. Congratulations for being a positive influence in your child's life and bringing them to this special day. At this time, I would like to introduce the platform guests. I will ask each guest to stand when recognized and remain standing until all guests are introduced. Dr. Olwyn Herron, WJCC Superintendent of Schools. Mr. Jim Kelly, Chair of the WJCC School Board. Mr. Greg Dowell Jr., Vice Chair of the WJCC School Board. Dr. Sandra Young, Board Member of the WJCC Public Schools. Mrs. Leslie English, Assistant Principal. Ms. Karen Scott, Assistant Principal. And Mr. Christopher Ames, the voice of Jamestown High School. Finally, I am honored to recognize the amazing group of compassionate and professional educators, the Jamestown High School faculty and staff. Please stand and be recognized. Without your commitment, compassion, and dedication to your students and community, Jamestown would not be the exceptional place of learning that it is today. Thank you for your tireless energy, extended effort, personal sacrifice, and commitment to our school. The class of 2021 has reached this milestone in their lives because of your actions. You are deeply appreciated by everyone in our school community. Thank you. You may be seated. Tradition dictates that each year we recognize the two students who have earned the highest cumulative grade point averages during their high school tenure. Please stand when I call your name. I am pleased to introduce Eliane Jen Ah Kang as a salutatorian of the class of 2021. She is a daughter of Dr. Song Cook Kang and Mrs. Hai Sung Kang. We wish you well as you attend Duke University in the fall. Finally, we are proud of our valedictorian for the class of 2021, Caleb Byung-jun Song. Please stand. Caleb is the son of Mr. Bong Kyun Song and Eun Mi Song. Caleb will attend the United States Air Force Academy in the fall. Caleb and Eliane, we commend your academic pursuit, your many accomplishments, your leadership, your example, and your commitment to the highest standard of learning and academic integrity. We would like to recognize 9 students whose notable academic achievements resulted in earning the prestigious Honor Seal on their diplomas. To achieve this designation, these students completed diverse advanced placement courses with distinguished achievement on accompanying College Board examinations, a focused foreign language study, significant community service, and an independent honors project. Scholars, as I call your name, please stand to be recognized for your work. James Robert Harrison Agnew. Harris Research reconstructed and 3D printed to scale a model of the architecturally significant 3 centuries-old Fairfield Manor House. Giovanni Julius Seriani. Gio utilized found objects to create nearly a dozen artistic pieces on different media and using different techniques, all thematically focused on pollution's effects on local habitats. Jacob Colin Robert Chu. Jacob combined his interests and abilities in music and mathematics to undertake an investigation of the Fibonacci sequence's role in the popular song catalog over the last half-century. Madison Elizabeth Homerd. Maddie wrote an undergraduate-level research paper on the chemical, neurological, and structural differences among an average human brain and those of sociopaths and psychopaths. Eric Daniel McKenna. Eric designed and conducted an independent research project on the ways in which varying levels of shock pressure on full suspension mountain bikes impact cyclists' heart rates. Lennon Marcellus Newsom. Lennon recorded the sounds of common household objects and utilized studio caliber production software to turn them into original musical compositions in 5 different popular genres. Nicholas Panausis Origanos. Nikos used XML editor software, extensive independent research, and international correspondence to begin to develop a usable online grammar checker for the Greek language. Alexander Christopher Pierce. Alexander wrote an original one-act play, then created a full directorial concept and production notebook for it, including blocking, delivery, costuming, lighting cues, and more. And Esgy Stump. Esgy engaged in pre-pandemic international travel and post-pandemic online interviews to produce a documentary film on the musical traditions and liturgy of the Turkish Alevi minority. Congratulations to Jamestown's 9 WJCC honor graduates. Each year, a committee of faculty members and students review applications from our senior class to select speakers for our commencement ceremony. Please welcome our first student speaker, Ryan Degaraff. Ryan will address the senior class and the community this morning with his speech entitled, Our Impact Going Forward.
Good morning, Jamestown. As a new freshman at 14 years old walking into high school, I was very daunted and it felt very uncertain for all of us. When I settled into the first class that I ever had in high school, in the midst of that crazy day, everything was new. But amid the commotion of that first day, I read a quote on the wall of the classroom from Jackie Robinson that a life is not important except in the impact that it has on other lives. To a freshman on his first day, these words didn't really come through to me at first. All of us had schedules so busy that there was often not much time for reflection. At the beginning, everything seemed to move so fast. In our first pep rally, all the sophomores, juniors, and seniors reminded us that we still had 4 more years. For a lot of us, we had schedules, again, so busy we never had time for reflection. But in time, however, I came to live by these words that guided me through the rest of high school. Jamestown students, however, have had no issue having meaningful impact on the lives of others. Over the last 4 years, as a body, students participated in a spikeball tournament to benefit charity, built infrastructure throughout our community, volunteered at churches, and worked hard for businesses ranging from Busch Gardens to Baskin-Robbins. Jamestown sports teams like soccer and basketball enjoyed a record of success, camaraderie, and sportsmanship. Jamestown students are renowned among businesses and universities for being professional and purposeful individuals. We've all held up the values of our school, of leadership, service, and integrity. Seniors have demonstrated a desire to step up and take charge and give time to benefit our community. Even before we were freshmen, when we showed up for our orientation, and all the juniors and seniors in Oak Crew were screaming with joy that we'd arrived, we learned those values that very day. We've certainly all slipped up at times, and I know that I have. We may not have understood online school at first. We may have been nervous about returning to school in person, and we might have even slipped up in our classes a little bit, especially in a year when everything has been shaken up. We might not have understood those things, but however, as a whole body, Jamestown High School's class of 2021 has truly upheld the legacy and values of the school. Having the desire to better ourselves and those around us and to lead, all make meaningful and lasting changes on those around us. In a time of uncertainty like the present, onward, we must move with these values in mind. By being leaders, being honest, and serving others, we may have a more profound impact on our world and our community. If what Robinson is saying, that meaning in our life is only derived by our ability to build up others, then by following these foundational ideals, we may live a much fuller, happier, and successful life. I wish you all the best going forward, and personally, to thank you all for the last 4 amazing years of my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Our second speaker is Amy Marie Walls. Amy will address the audience this morning with her speech entitled, After High School, Every Day is a Final Exam.
In its most basic form, an exam is a test of mastery of a subject. In school, we as students are used to seeing it as quizzes, tests, SOLs, AP exams, and finals. We have plenty of time to study, we usually get a detailed study guide, and by the time that the exam date arrives, we can feel mostly confident that we know what we're heading into. But even with all of that preparation, we still sometimes rely on the curve to pass. My grandfather used to say, after high school, every day is a final exam. The more math, English, science, and other tests I took, the more the quote made sense to me. I was learning about those subjects in school, and I was learning so much more too. But how do we test those things that can't be captured on pen and paper? How do you test resiliency? What about work ethic? Honor? Dependability? These are all things for which you will never have to take the type of school test that we're used to. Instead, the way you are tested is through the events, people, and other things in your life. Your ambition will be tested when choosing a career path. Your compassion will be tested when you have to put someone before yourself. And your patience will be tested every time you have to drive through Confusion Corner for the first time. Job interviews are tests. Relationships are tests. Health scares of you or someone close to you are tests. Life will never stop testing us, and to keep up with it, we can never let ourselves stop learning. It is daunting knowing that we will be going through some of our biggest tests in life without the privilege of having a study guide beforehand. So as we walk across this stage, instead of thinking of it as an end, let's think of it as a beginning. A beginning to our lives beyond our school years, and a continuation of a lifelong series of tests, different from the ones we're used to. Jamestown has prepared us very well academically for what lies ahead, but we have also endured tests of character. During our time here, we have tested our integrity, our independence, and our discipline. Having to do our own work well taught us that we should take pride in what we create. Taking difficult classes or having a lot of homework has taught us to balance our schedule. And making friends has taught us that school can be fun when you connect with the right people. Your schooling will end, but your learning will not. And when there's no end to learning, there's no end to tests. As my grandfather used to say, after high school, every day is a final exam. That's everything.
Thank you, Amy. I find great pleasure in introducing the Jamestown High School Choir, Band, and Orchestra under the direction of Mr. Matthew Raypatch, Mr. Steve Turner, and Ms. Mary Dart. The combined music programs will perform America the Beautiful, arranged by Ward and Dragon. Please direct your attention to the screen. to our choir, band, and orchestra, thank you for that rendition of America the Beautiful. Our senior class officers will now share a few memories from their time at Jamestown High School. Please turn your attention again to the screen and welcome Kellen Turner Cooper, Benjamin Voss Harris, Taylor McKnight Flint, Jacqueline Diane Maley, and Sarah Elizabeth Falcone.
We started freshman year with open eyes, ready to learn. Everything seemed so new. The building, the teachers, and other classmates. We were all scared in different ways. Freshman year was the year of first. Our first time in a big high school, first time having block scheduling, and first time seeing kids from different middle schools. It was also the time for our first homecoming, spirit week, and our first Friday night football game. On our first day of freshman year, we were all nervous about how the next 4 years were going to turn out. Our teachers welcomed us with open arms and guided us through this new journey. Being inside of a strange new building is nerve-wracking, but as the months went on, it felt like home. Although freshman year was only 4 years ago, it seems like it was only yesterday because the memories we made will last a lifetime. We have grown together over the years and created unbreakable bonds. Some of you may become a freshman again, or some will have a fresh start into the world. But none of us will forget our memories at Jamestown, which started freshman year.
Sophomore year was a fun and exciting year, filled with newfound confidence and freedom. We were familiar with the school, and we had already built relationships with the students and staff. The biggest change during sophomore year was having more flexibility and options when picking our classes. We were able to explore new subjects, discover new interests, and push ourselves with difficult coursework. This year was also memorable as we took driver's ed and worked towards getting our licenses. Our grade bonded over shared challenges and the occasional all-nighter for AB Human. This year taught us lots of lessons, including time management, responsibility, and important study habits.
School events were more meaningful this year as our school spirit had grown. We dressed up more during Spirit Week, yelled louder at the pep rally, and cheered more at football games. We continued showing school spirit in the winter at basketball games, whether we were cheering on Jamestown or a rec team at Quarter Path. All this time spent having fun taught us valuable lessons about finding a healthy balance between school and a social life. In the end, we grew as people and as a class, preparing us for our next 2 years at Jamestown.
For the first half of junior year, we finally got to experience Jamestown as upperclassmen. The workload grew quite a bit, but so did the scope and significance of our academic pursuits. As juniors, we could fully enjoy the sporting events, pep rallies, and traditions of Jamestown without the bittersweetness of senior year when everything is your last. One of the highlights of junior year was the basketball rematch against Lafayette, which had the best atmosphere of any event I've seen at Jamestown. Just a few weeks after that, though, we all got up one Friday afternoon in March and walked out of junior year. By the time teachers and students adapted to the circumstances, the school year was already over. The emptiness of last spring makes the memory of the first semester even brighter, and both halves of that year unforgettable for their own reasons.
Although the school year may not have been what we expected, it really proved what our amazing class of 21 is capable of. We showed what WJCC is all about through overcoming and persevering the challenges COVID-19 presented us with. The senior class was still able to gather safely at numerous SCA and sporting events. In a way, I think the majority of us have been woken up in the past year. We no longer take the early mornings and long school days for granted. School brought us together more than we ever realized in the past, and I think I speak for most of us when I say being eager to return to the school building was an understatement. It became much more apparent how much we rely on each other in our daily social interactions. When reflecting on our senior year, I say we thrived and adapted given our circumstances. Besides, how many people can say they lived through a pandemic and graduated high school all in the same year?
Thank you, senior class officers. To say that our community is proud of this class would be an understatement. Through one of the most challenging years in U.S. history, you have done more than persevere and survive. This class has led our school to academic, athletic, artistic excellence. Each of you have faced challenges and did not let fear stop you. Though getting up in the morning and turning on your computer may seem like a small task, the consistency, focus, and energy this year demanded was unrelenting. Mr. Darden, my physics teacher from the 8th grade, explained how energy and the first law of thermodynamics work. Now, I am far from a physicist, but what Mr. Darden shared has stayed with me throughout my life. The first law of thermodynamics states that energy is always conserved. It cannot be created or destroyed. In essence, energy can only be converted from one form to another, and we are like that too. The positive energy that you create ripple and bounce from person to person. Right now, the audience is watching you with pride. Your accomplishments are the positive energy that will move others. We must be responsible and own the impact our actions and energy have, though. You live in challenging times, but you do have a choice. You can be that voice, that person, that force to bring clarity to confusion, caring to malice, and courage to those in fear. Your teachers and parents have prepared you for this challenging world. Show the world what we already know, that the class of 2021 cannot be stopped. It can only be conserved. Let's go to work. It is now my pleasure to introduce our Honorable Superintendent, Dr. Olwyn Herron, who will assist in the awarding of diplomas.
Thank you, Mr. Townsend. This is a moment to feel a sense of tremendous pride and accomplishment. With much support and guidance along the way from family, friends, and of course your teachers, students, you have reached your goal. On behalf of the school board and staff, congratulations on your accomplishment. It is now time to award the diplomas. Mr. Townsend, do you certify completion of the graduation requirements by the Jamestown High School class of 2021?
Superintendent Herron, I affirm to you that these seniors have met the requirements for graduation in Virginia.
By the power vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia, I hereby grant certification of completion of graduation requirements to the students of the class of 2021. Mr. Townsend, you may proceed.
Thank you, Dr. Herron. Now we will begin our distinguished presentation of graduates of the Jamestown High School class of 2021. Faculty, students, and ushers, please take your places for the awarding of diplomas.
Ryan Keen Degarath. Amy Marie Walls. Caleb Byung-Jun Song. Elian Jen Ah Kang. Yelisa Ray Lynette Durant. Jessica Monique Felder. Gabriel Raul Gomez. Maxime Patrick Joel Bernard. Liam Driscoll Gallivan. Nicholas James Leo. Seton Reese Lodwick. Arabella Helen St. Thomas. Audrey Kate Lurs. Michaela Torito. Catherine Luna. Jasmine Desiree Williams. Danielle Andreen Smith. Keegan Cecilia Thompson. Luke Christopher Phillips. Colin Thomas Day. Dylan Michael Cochran. Caden Zacharias Allison. Benjamin Voss Harris. Taylor McKnight Flint. Mary Abigail Harris. Claire Gail Alburn. Nicholas Patrick Kellogg. Casey William Bennett. Charlie Jane Anderson. Kelly Etta Zhao. Brady Luke Vermillion. Justin Samuel Palmas. Lily Catherine Steins. Madeline Grace Vischer. McKenna Ann Vischer. Connor David Powell. Ryan Craig Lynch. Daniel James Weaver. Denver Conrad Moore. Talita Marie Hatch. Alexis Raylan Delzer. Matthew Baker Choate. Hayden James Cassie. Nolan Ryan Kuhn. Carly Ann Karagian. Emily Morgan Johnson. Alexandra Faith Chauvin. Maya Renee Grays. Margaret Emma DeVasher. Ethan Michael Lease. Jonathan David Shaner. Jackson Scott Query. Alexander Christopher Pierce. Bridget Jane Palermo. Zachary Allen Tubbs. Alonzo Antonio Rivera. Sarah Kate Servastova. Esgy Stump. Margaret McLean Luck. Chanel Alexander Bartlett. Shanti Alize Bartlett. Serenity Denise Armstead. Keonti Shamir Green. Savannah Lee Halen Dunn. Jose B. Harden IV. Jay Sean Lamont Jarvis. Giselle Stephanie Esquivel. Carlos Daniel Arguello. Mackenzie Nicole Bullock. Zoelis Matos. Catherine Mariah Renzo. Alejandra Maria Pina Martinez. Malin Salina Nava Alcantar. Ella Grace Winters. Clarice Oliveira. Sky Lynn Perry. Camille Elizabeth Wappelhorst. Gavin Thomas Williams. Jared Michael Medema. Angelina Betty Quinn Clocker. Rudis Daniel Alvarado. Noelle Marie Celli. Erin Elizabeth Colarasi. Sarah Elizabeth Falcone. Skylar Dawn Jacobson. Elena Constance Howe. Sarah Isabel Fleming. Haley Nicole Johnson. Michelangelo Flores Cruz. Matthew Elliott Rogers. Jacob Allen Slade. Matthew Pedro Lukes. Ethan Samuel Wannabald. Isaac George Scruggs. Lennon Marsalis Newsom. Vernon Eugene Stewart III. Aiden Blanchard League. Shania Markeisha Reed. Kayshana Linnell Marrow. Lindsay Nicole Thompson. Jillian Marie Bassett. Angela Mary Booth. Julia Diane Davis. Audrey Jane Dolak. Daniel Jose Gonzalez. Daniel Alcantar Franco. Brianne Elizabeth Cantrell. Lisbeth Aparicio. Craig Francis Endo. Ruby Elisa Aufterheide. Anna Page Yalgo. Emma Rose McCann. Madison Blaine Smith. Caden Ashley Normandou. Eleanor Lijuan Lewis. Madison Marie Renteria. Sarah Nicole Van Voorhees. Christian Jordan Zumbrun. Michael Tristan Dale Payne. Seth Michael Hoffmeyer Dunn. Ryan Joseph Kordek. Giovanni Julius Seriani. Jacob Colin Robert Chu. Jackson Reed Dunn. Ainsley Page Carpenter. Shariah Ladian Marie Blunt. Sydney Michelle Epps. Andrew Michael Burrows. Thomas Michael Haney. Taylor Marie Van Sickle. Grace Elizabeth Soares. Lindsay Marie Schmid. Madigan Rose Lunsberry. Catherine Riley Long. Ethan Davis Roulet. Kaylee Jeanette Laska. Rebecca Caroline McCann. Caitlin Noelle McFadden. Midori Margaret Pitts. Elijah Ivan Isidro Silva Rodriguez. Natalia Nora Boring. Kirsty Alexandria Gaunt. Alexandra Grace Gillette. Juliana Lee Howington. Annabelle Mary Corvo. Danielle Frances Eaton. Jade Annabelle Devrient. Banks Bauer Abella. Maxime Lloyd Ward. Morgan Elizabeth Reed McKnight. Anna Victoria Liebler. Oliver Van McLaughlin. Susan Patricia Schell. Paul Muega Jarage. Christina Grace Gettings. Isabella Marie Tonk. Bridget Emery Wilson. Jacob Alexander Tier. Kellen Turner Cooper. Silas Turner Cooper. Ethan James Gall. Karsten Randall Holcraft. James Robert Harrison Agnew. Matthew Lewis Crosley. Benjamin Campbell Hofer. Hannah Jean Holland. Natalie Dowis Agee. Alexis Joy Broker. Connor James Samuels. Benjamin Dayleader Sheriff. Natalie Morgan Stauk. Christian Wallace Port Stefani. Chad Nathaniel Martin. Corey Sky Little. Victor Ivan Zamaripa Valdez. Anna Dominique Teresina. Liliana Grace Molnar. Jacqueline Diane Maley. Maddox Alexander Killingsworth. Debbie Janelle Aguilera. Samantha Saki Scott Brown. Sarah Cole Harris. Harriet Elizabeth Baker. Chanel Alexis Hill. Monica Lynn Duncan. Kylie Lynn Fowler. Grace Caroline Galindo. Sophie Catherine Corson. Clifford Bradley Weddington Jr. Dylan Senna Kuramatsu Walters. Wyatt Keith Marshall. Sophia Jade Sokolowski. Anjali Paresh Patel. Emily Grace Squire. Aaron Michael Squire. Nicolas Panusis Orginos. Jackson Henry Samuels. Eric Daniel McKenna. Louise Cordeau Herman. William Henry DeVasher. Liam Otis Heatwole. Madison Elizabeth Omard. Allison Grace Barham. Ryan Anthony Holcomb. Emma Grace Howell. Emily Ann Avanel. Isabella Dunbar Benavente. Celeste Embry Carr. Ashley Victoria Rivera. Nathaniel Paul Russett. Henry James Schuler. Benjamin Harold Meyer. Lucas Daniel Meyer. Nicholas Earl Pugh. Donald William Reeves III. Kayanoa Ikaika Samuelson. Hogan Worth Schulze. Eric Jacob Neidswick. Elizabeth Mackwerder Friedrichs. Rebecca Michelle Dunkusky. Lauren Marie Kroom. Andrew Preston Criddle. Ethan Michael Jacobson. Ethan Charles Conrad. William James Colvin. Cody Taylor Aguilar. Alfred Joshua Dixon IV. Cameron Lewis Gormer. Adriana Delaney Rente. Dylan Page Varney. Isaac Charles Tucker. Anders Joseph Stanky. Victoria Ann McLean. Paige Nicole Richardson. Sarah Mackenzie Ward. Ashley Nicole Ward. Dylan Alexander Pay. Haley Ann Shake. Tennyson Daniel Garrett. Garrett Alexander Bellin. Ken Orlando James. James Leonard Carter, Jr. Paige Elizabeth Arsbergen. Paul Alberto Barrientos. Valencia Justine Claudio. Bianca Nicole Claudio. Rebecca Yona Hines. Sasha Ann Murphy. John Peyton Sneed, Jr. Maya Valencia Wise. Brianna Iris Slodisco. Brandon M. Langiel. Camden Masayashi Masuka. Justice Jessica St. Pierre. Jose Daniel Reyes. Jackson Douglas Lauber. Jaquan Sincere Van Buren. Nicholas Jason Hart. Taylor Harrison Britton. Gabriela Alejandra Flores Lopez. Genesis Jacqueline Sanchez Bueso. Ruby Francis Palantino. Charles Lee Stowe. Abigail Hope Middleton. Claire Eileen Waldron. Jacqueline Ann Vishton. Madeline Elise Miller.
Parents, families, distinguished guests, and all invited guests, on behalf of our Superintendent of Schools and the faculty and staff of Jamestown High School, I proudly present the graduated class of 2021. Graduates, you may move your tassels from the right to the left. We thank you for joining us in celebration today and wish each of you health, happiness, and success. To all the fathers and people who have the responsibility of a father, we hope you enjoy a spectacular Father's Day tomorrow. We invite you now to witness the recession of this field by the graduates. Please remain standing in the stands until all the graduates have left the field. You may meet your student in the parking lot after the recession has concluded. Have a safe and enjoyable summer.